And we're back.
Woo!
Round 5 of the Michigan ARG event.
Yeah.
So in this match, we've got Steve versus Nick. Again, both pretty solid players. Nick especially so. He was our other local Worlds representative.
Woohoo!
Obviously, the second one being Phil McGrath. Second place finisher, number 1 in our hearts. But
he did what he had to do.
Yeah.
Both of them did.
Nick, generally quite a solid player overall. And he's running Blue 20, which is a deck that I like a great deal. And Steve taking it all the way back to set 1 with Piccolo Namekian Knowledge, including the old stack.
Oh man!
I mean, he was using new 3 and 4, but
okay.
old 1, which is pretty uncommon these days. But yeah, Steve's been running Namekian Knowledge since the game launched.
Tried and true.
Yeah.
Old faithful, if you will.
Sure, and I have a little bit of inside knowledge about his build, which you'll see later on when I play him in the finals, as we look into the future, since these are recorded. But
I like how he just Steve's put his mastery in the middle of nowhere.
Steve's got a real bread and butter triple threat build, so solid for exactly what the deck does. But again, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of just that setup, but you got to play what works for you. That's one of the things that I think we've said before on our podcasts and stuff is, like, it's better to play a deck that you're comfortable with than to play something that you think might even be a little bit better, but that you don't know if you can necessarily wield, or that you just haven't had much experience with. So this is a deck that he's had a ton of play time under his belt with. I know he's also hasn't had that much time to practice lately, so I can definitely see why he would run it. And it's certainly not a bad deck.
Stare down
Triple threat always does okay.
Stare down narrow escape and head knock to start it off.
Begin the game in earnest. Nick goes first. Draws a handful of awesome stuff. Contemplating a combat, which is, I mean, that's about as good as you're going to get for a first turn.
Yeah.
So sure wouldn't be a bad thing, but passing would also be perfectly fine if he doesn't want to go on the aggressive out of the gate. We'll attack.
Okay.
He's going to start building that 20 board and messing with Steve's stuff. Probably leading on that stare down.
Yep. Crushing beam, weighted clothing, and
glare. Oh, focused assault. That terrible, terrible card that you sort of have to run in Namekian if you're determined to win by MPPV.
What does it even do?
It banishes an attached card and does more damage. So it's realistically, it's your only true answer for Wallbreaker and triple threat. Nick discards the weighted clothing, which is interesting.
Can't he use it from there, though?
Yeah, I'm not sure really why he did that. Like,
crushing beam. He narrowly escaped that crushing beam.
Because he could have denied
that.
He could have saved the narrow escape and denied the anger that Steve gains from crushing beam if he had just gotten rid of that. But
oh, that's right. Because we can't see his anger because it might be on his mastery, or he doesn't have a marker for it.
I mean, there's always, I guess, the scenario where...
Why did he just mill a card?
Oh, he lowered him stages with 20.
Oh,
Nick 20 powered,
I missed that.
and he only had 2 stages left, so he prevented him from level 1 powering. Yeah, I'm still not quite sure why he got rid of the weighted clothing there, but oh well. I guess there may be some deeper method to the madness.
Who knows?
Because even now, having using 20's power, he denied him. At first, I was thinking, oh, maybe he did it so that Steve would have to choose between rejuving with Piccolo's power or proccing the weighted clothing, but now that he's put another card in his discard pile and put Steve at 0.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that looks like a 20 power and pass.
Okay.
So Steve will draw up.
So he's still got that head knock.
Discard down, rejuve a crushing beam. Maybe the one he just used, who can say?
Head knock, lifting drill? Is that what that is? Or no? Barricade? What is that?
Barricade, yes.
That one.
Stops an attack. Yep. Set up.
Oh, well, they're going again.
Nick attacking again on the offensive.
He's got a domination in his hand. Head knock and...
Do a power, take a peek at what Steve's got 2 energy blocks, combat ending set up,
Is it that
and
the one with Parunga on it? That
Yes.
last card?
and
Wish.
physical that can clear the board on a Dragon Ball Shuffle. So Steve back at 0. Once again, won't be able to use his level 1 power. Nick will grab something else, maybe an absorbing drill just to build out the board. Lookout drill would be, let's say probably the actual better option there.
Look out. It's a drill. No. Shuffle.
Steve, his anger, it looks like his anger dice is just barely off screen. But
Yeah, his mastery is like off in the corner.
I believe he currently has 1 anger from just that crushing beam shuffle. Yeah, weighted clothing still chilling in there.
Why did you put that there? Like, what was the? I guess Steve passed.
We can only guess. Sure, yeah, Steve passes out.
Getting dominated.
Nick takes 1 a hybrid defense for his trouble. Eyeball on whatever else is in there.
How many cards does he get?
Just 1. It's 1. You name a card and get rid of 1 copy. But now he's just looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, just curious as to whatever else is lurking.
Lurking.
We'll see if Nick remembers to domination. We already early in our match saw
Yeah.
somebody missed their trigger to stack a couple cards. So putting that stare down on top would be real nice if he doesn't forget about it. That should be anger 3 for Steve on that weighted clothing.
And he'll
dash.
need 6 because of blue protective.
Correct.
Just something I almost always forget.
Head knock to anger 0 for 7. That's not going to do nothing.
Yeah. Oof.
Took that to the head. Didn't bother to banish the knee block, which is either or. I mean, obviously he wants it in there to gain anger, but taking 2 less life cards sure wouldn't have been a bad thing.
I think they're out, and he did remember to.
So yeah, it looks
domination.
like a double pass, and I think Steve's questioning why he gets to stack.
Yeah.
That would be why.
Is it just the top or?
Of your discard?
Yeah.
No, it's any card.
Oh, so he picked that
Head knock,
which
is another good choice.
Krillin and Namekian Wish.
Yeah, in this matchup, I prefer, since he got it out of his hand and lowered his anger, I prefer stacking head knock to stacking stare down in this situation. Keeping Steve's anger down is going to go a long way to winning this game.
That's right. I
pull it
was
off.
trying to remember what Krillin did.
Yeah, Krillin in play, killing those drills, which will definitely be a good thing for Steve. Krillin now doesn't get that much play, but when he comes out, he's pretty awesome.
Round 4 had one.
Yeah,
He didn't get played. He got killed. but
sure.
He was there.
One of the more unique board control cards in the game. One of the few that can affect stuff out of combat, which is always cool. And Steve's build of Namekian doesn't run any drills, so he doesn't care about the fact that Krillin technically has to target your own stuff if there are no other valid targets. So
if there's nothing, what happens? Just nothing.
yeah, I mean, if there's literally nothing, yeah, he just whiffs. But if you have drills and they don't, you have to destroy your own stuff.
Oh, are they? I'm assuming they entered.
So yeah, Nick draws again.
7.
Combat every turn. Nick's not fucking
Okay. I mean, he's got a wrist block, a fear, and that head knock. 20 power. Do. Getting a thing.
I guess as he might be looking to fear Krillin off the field so he can continue to build his board unharassed.
Yeah. And he got absorbing
But
drill.
Steve's going to have combat, so
Right.
that kind of takes care of that. Yeah, absorbing drill with the 20 power.
Does Krillin fire at the end of everyone's turn?
It's your own turn.
Oh, okay.
So not both players, so he won't destroy a thing here.
Gotcha.
Steve keeping ball 7. Pitching a knee block and other stuff.
Discard down.
Nick thinking about keep the head knock or the fear.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see which one. but not the wrist block for sure.
Keeping the fear.
Fear it is. So yeah, the thing, the thing he wanted to do is the plan that he'll hold on to for next combat, I guess.
Yep,
Or no?
yep,
All right.
okay.
Goes for the head knock.
I guess he has a visiting.
Still
but
either one's still a good choice, but.
He might have drawn another ball, Steve. Yeah, I think that's 5
There's
in there.
at least another one in there. Yep.
So he could stack to draw something now, because he does have 5, which is a draw.
Oh, not sure if that's how that works. In fact, I'm pretty sure it isn't.
What?
Nick procced the lookout drill to prevent the ball 7 mil, but willed 1 from the mastery. I'm pretty sure the mastery would trigger first. So lookout drill would prevent the 1 mil, and then he would have had to mill
Yeah.
through.
Cheater. Tut, tut, tut.
So you're going to put a pile of setups on his deck, which is dangerous.
I mean, he's
but
getting
I
one
guess
of
what are you gonna
them.
do?
With if I'm assuming he plays.
Oh, that's right. You said it
Yeah.
was ball 5. Or number
Or no,
ball 3, even better. So yeah,
okay,
never
my
mind.
bad.
I couldn't tell which ball it actually was, but so yeah, that's gonna work out a-okay.
Right, nice. Just put 2 random cards back.
And just like that, the board is real. I'll power up. Steve might be at anger 2 after this. I think his only anger might be from the ball 3.
He got head knocked, and I don't think he's gotten any
Yeah,
anger
I
since
think that-
then. So he's at 1.
From what I can remember, yeah, this will be his second anger for rejuvenating that knee block. So if we're
Oh, that's
correct,
right, yeah.
anger, if we're correct, current anger 2.
It's got mental drill, head knock, something.
And Steve with a confrontation.
Key
Also targeted
buildup.
lookout drill with his second Krillin.
And some third card.
Nick contemplating a card to keep, or maybe another combat. This would be by far the combat hungriest game we've seen all tournaments.
Yeah,
if
for
Nick
sure.
attacks again. But I mean, he could visit for anything he wants and keep all 3 cards, so it's certainly not impossible.
He would be at like almost double disadvantage because he's got that confrontation.
Sure, yeah, he's only going to get to use 1 card that he really wants to activate with impunity. Anything else super important will be confronted away, as you said. No spheres in the discard pile. Certainly no spheres in hand. He's got, what, head knock and something else?
I'm not sure.
If he did enter and visit, he'd go for the fear.
And fear
and
first
use it.
turn.
Yeah, since that seemed to be his game plan last time.
So he does have a stare down.
Oh,
in there.
Energized Strike. Okay, which is good for prolonged combats against Namekian. It basically shuts off the anger from the mastery. Means you can only gain anger from energy
he's
and
doing
physical
it.
combat cards. So yeah, Nick.
Are you getting the stare?
I guess that's okay too. Maybe he's
All
looking
right.
to. I mean, he won't have a small combat with the head.
Oh,
knock
that
and
he got. Dang.
And
Growth.
Steve with a handful of trash. So yeah, that stare down couldn't have been the better thing to pull for
Just
sure.
get rid of that confrontation and kind of do stuff. I mean, what else are you going to get rid of?
Yeah, this is not going to be a bad turn by any means. He's going to deal some damage. We'll see how Steve's endurance goes. Because if he gets a ball capture out of this turn, that's going to be a big deal.
I mean, you might as well get rid of the confrontation.
I think he's thinking the difference between, because if he does lead on stare down, Steve will get a level. So it's not necessary. It's not 100% the thing he should do.
Unless he head knocked first.
But it's definitely going to put the brakes on his aggressive turn. If he leads on something other than
Key building up?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, I suppose, but it'll still Got to lower his anger 1. Steve's.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he doesn't have a block either way, so. And that's a crit. So do we get a ball capture or a dead Krillin? Or does he just forget about it? Assuming Nick is weighing his options on.
Because he could take, like, ball 3, lower his anger again. Okay, he's getting rid of Krillin.
Goes with the Krillin. Which that I also don't love. Like, I feel like he should be pushing the gas as hard as he possibly can. I would have loved to see a ball 3 there. If he's going to be this aggressive, go all out.
So long, Energized Strike. We hardly knew ya.
And well, I guess right now we'll also see if Nick runs 1 or 2 Android attack drills in his build. Because if he's only got the 1 that's currently discarded, he's basically just counting on a raw head knock to be unendured to continue his offensive, and that is not necessarily the plan that would, I think, work out mathematically most of the time based on the average amount of endurance triple threat runs. So he's going to power. This should be an attack drill if he's got one. Otherwise, I guess we'll see. The answer is probably not. Yeah, second absorbing drill, so he's got literally nothing else to tutor for.
Cool.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So that guarantees, like, the damper on this turn is real. And now, sure, yeah, Steve goes for ball 1 to protect the better balls. So even if that head knock does hit raw, it's going to net him an extra life card in the future, but nothing else for this turn. Yeah, I really don't like killing Krillin there, especially since the only thing he would have really lost is either the mental drill, which is awesome, but not integral, or an absorbing drill that, like, Steve's not coming at him hard with energies anyway, so. Yeah, I really don't like that play. Nick will throw the head knock.
No anger.
Back to anger 0. And, yep, immediately endured, so. And just like that, Nick's aggression is at a standstill.
Yeah.
He's still dealing damage. Like, he's got, like, probably a half his life deck or a tiny bit more gone. But I'm assuming Steve's going full ball at this point with 1 in hand, 3 on the board, and, gets a growth, which, I guess he milled off a ball tutor with that last attack, so he couldn't have gone for that with his plan. Could have saved it for next turn, because assuming Nick doesn't deal more damage, he would have rejued it with the ball 5, so he could have planned for it later. But yeah, because growth really doesn't do, like, technically it would keep him in the game, but Steve's not quite on notice to the point where he's worried about death yet.
There goes the ball. Stared down ball 5.
Yeah, I kind of like that. That's a cool play.
If he was using new Namekian, he could just
that wouldn't
power that right on top.
The better mastery.
Look, he drew even more set.
But just like that, yeah.
Jeez.
More board.
He's got a choke, stare down, and a slash.
Yep, a currently unblockable choke. Could it be? Can Nick declare combat in every single turn this game? He certainly could attack with that hand.
Checking the discard. Because he still does have a visiting in play. Which wouldn't save him from the choke.
Yeah, this game has gone interesting places tempo-wise. Like, normally the #1 mistake that players make above all else is to not attack as often as they should, but Nick has pressed the gas maybe a tiny bit too hard. I guess we'll ultimately see.
I mean, that last turn,
how this plays out,
which he was given like a godsend of a hand, it kind of fizzled out.
Because I mean, it's still a solid hand. There's
No,
not,
I meant because Steve had
sure,
literally all set up.
yeah, but like
Nothing was able to happen.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that necessarily any individual one of those declarations is a mistake.
No,
There's things that would have played out differently, like once he got into the combats themselves. But he's had solid draws, so
I think he's declaring.
yeah, I wouldn't say he's making a mistake by declaring so often, especially. Although at this point, Steve's got so much of his board on the play and in the discard pile that maybe he doesn't have that much of it left to draw through.
Yeah.
But he does. Steve does run a very
hybrid
dead
defense.
card, dead draw heavy build. So get a hybrid defense, and that's pretty good.
But I don't think,
So,
aside
yeah,
from the stare down,
2 blocks, could even tutor a third one if he wants to blow that overtime on an energy block. Nick knows his stare down isn't any good, so he's not going to throw that out this turn.
but the choke can't be blocked
Correct.
because 7. Yeah, he definitely.
He's
Piccolo,
got that growth off
1,
screen.
2, 3. Kami.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that Steve has a growth on the table.
Well, the fusion is over there.
Right. He needs one more.
Oh, maybe he shifted the growth over a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's just off screen. Steve's storing a bunch of his cards just out of camera view. So yeah, now Nick's thinking, because I'm assuming Nick's decision is, do I choke now while it's still unstoppable, or do something else? Because if Steve pops even one of those cards, he'll be out of choke range at that point. And Nick's gonna card power, which I really, I mean, Steve passed, so I guess he wasn't punished for it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Or,
I don't know,
nope,
but no,
he didn't
never mind.
pass.
Yeah, so now definitely out of choke range,
Yeah.
which is certainly not good for Nick. Yeah, I don't know what he.
Yeah, what even?
Yeah, not tutoring something with that card power, like just to make him lose the 3 stages. Like, sure, he wouldn't want him to use his card power. Like Steve, we wouldn't want Steve to use his card power.
Yeah.
But he had the fusion play, so he's gonna
Yeah.
get stages back anyway. Yeah, I hate that. That was not a good call.
And like you said, now he's like, his hand is kind of useless now, given Steve's hand.
Again, hopefully we're right about that growth, but I'm pretty sure it's over there. If not, then this is all conjecture, and it doesn't matter one way or the other. But and in that case, I would say like maybe Nick shouldn't have declared this combat at all. But
Card power.
that'll be Piccolo power prevented with a 20 drill. Nick pass. Steve will overtime.
Oh, if that growth is there, he's back in choke range now, right? Yeah, bicorn.
Correct.
Yeah, there's the growth. It's
Yep,
right.
yeah,
He
so
moved
it
it
is in
over.
play.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know what Nick was doing
Yeah.
by not just choking the shit out of him when he had the chance the first time, but
Grab that Piccolo. Oh, that'll do stuff.
yeah, and that's gonna be
That's gonna hurt.
for serious problem for Nick. Steve's probably going to get to level 2 this turn, which is definitely not good, not a thing that Nick wants to happen.
Yeah. Choke him. Choke him now. Stop not choking
But see,
him.
even now he might be maybe is in a position where he shouldn't do that if he does the math and sees that the choke will ultimately be the thing that levels him up.
Oh.
Because Steve's only got, he's got 2 more anger with the onslaught, so I'm not actually certain what his anger total is right now. He gained 1 from the power, 1 from
I guess
overtime.
Nick passed. And it's getting infinitely onslaughted.
Sure, he's gonna get 1 more from the growth if he chooses to use that.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve would have gained another anger for the Corin too that's in play now also. So yeah, he's going up.
Mm-hmm. That's right, I forgot Corn did that.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know what's going on now. Like, still feel like the turning point of the whole game was Nick critting that Krillin. as opposed to keeping the pressure on by capping ball 3.
Yeah.
It would have advanced Nick's agenda in every way. He would have gotten additional chance to be more aggressive that turn. He would have taken a ball away from Steve that he would have captured back. Would have had to capture back. And Steve was at level 1 at that point, so he would have been hard-pressed to do so.
At least you drew another ball. That kind of helps Nick. But
Sure.
then, oh, no. And then there's that.
Growth to drop a ball.
Because it lets you play from hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like they're getting out. Grillin's back. Oh, geez. Look at this.
All right, well.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this game has completely gotten away from Nick. He's like,
Yeah.
he's on life support at this point, especially since he has nothing useful to tutor for, like in life deck remaining.
Gain some stages. Play visiting. I mean, he is hella in choke range, but...
Steve double checking his count.
I mean, he...
Can't quite tell what his life deck state is like, but it looks like it might just be tall enough that an attack and a choke is not... Oh, yeah, definitely. That's even more than I thought it was.
Yeah, you can kind of see it in the
he
hand
is for sure not within like attack, choke, death range.
Yeah, visiting. Choke is still there. Wrist block and
So
a neck beam.
Yeah, say Nick now on notice to either try to attack and make something happen, or pass and let the theoretical inevitability of Steve pulling out to play out.
Does neck beam lower you a level?
It lets you choose to lower or raise your opponent on hit at the end of the combat.
Oh,
if it
okay.
hits. So.
Because how much?
Sure. I mean, for as aggressive as he's been, I definitely wouldn't hate necessarily attacking this turn. Although Steve's got a visiting, right, hiding just off screen.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
So it's pretty unlikely that neck beam would get through. Unfortunately, Nick can only cap ball 1 with a choke. If he could, if he could attack and choke for ball 2, that would change the entire flow of what might happen in the next turn or so. But yeah, Nick's options aren't great right now.
And he doesn't. Does he have anything in his anything that he's like put in his discard because he does have a visiting?
I mean, I'm sure he's got some useful stuff, but like, he's still only going to have a 3-card hand to Steve's 5, assuming Steve also visits. So.
I guess that's true.
At that point, he'll be down actions, and Steve will still have Piccolo 2 power to chip a little bit of life card each way, and cycle out some junk in his hand, like whatever he doesn't want to have. He can cycle out for something cooler.
Counting or looking. Gaining anger, or not anger, stages. That's what I meant.
Nick taking a little time to weigh his options. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's necessarily much for him to do in this game.
I guess
but
he's
gonna
going.
attack, so, what do we have to visit for?
What if?
He'll probably
he's got that. He's got that other growth. What if he just draws the 7th ball and just
that
wins?
Certainly could happen.
Oh, that'd be so rough.
Unless Nick visits for like a blue betrayal or something to get rid of it, but that would be a little much. Getting fear would be good. That looks like it's probably his best option, but I mean, if he does do that, Steve can visit for a sphere, so if he chooses to.
I mean, the same with the stare down too.
Yeah. If he gets some other attack, Steve can get a block. He could take a physical attack like a blue slash, and then bait Steve into taking a physical block. And unless I think time is probably also in Steve's discard pile. I feel like he might have milled it off. So, I mean, he could just get that, and it won't matter that much either way.
He or Nick did. I don't remember exactly
Yeah, I guess
who.
we'll find
I know
out.
I saw it earlier.
All right, so Nick's grab stare down. Probably going to put that wrist block at the bottom. I can't quite tell.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch
Steve
it.
immediately visiting for something. A sphere or just a defense. Or a confrontation, also fine. Perfect. That'll do just as well.
It's like the best
Okay,
hand
so
he's
now-
drawn all game.
So now, yeah, Steve, with all the options in the world, he can basically choose to stay the course and try to ball out, or round throw to
For
level
days.
3 and beyond. Or right throw, excuse me.
Okay, getting rid of the
All right, so
confrontation.
Nick protecting the rest of his hand. Okay, so he's at least weighing his options. Of,
Mm-hmm. He almost Piccolo powered, it sounded like. Do you have any idea what his anger is right now?
No, I have no idea. It got away from us during that last combat. I'm not sure.
If only it was on screen. I know we had a problem with this in the past. Maybe we should, like, if you mentioned in a previous.
Yeah, we'll keep experimenting.
does have
with
optic
camera placement
blast.
and stuff.
You were talking about that. He does have optic blast in his deck. Or no, it was.
No, I mentioned that last match.
That was last. I don't
Yeah.
even. Ugh, where am I?
But sure.
Maybe
yeah.
we should like have some kind of like frame. Just be like,
Mhm.
place cards in here, like those like
Yep.
bleeds
Use
on
keys
like
to open doors.
on like printed material. If you want your cards to show up on
Nick
the
again,
screen.
like his impotently 20 powering to lower Steve stages
Yeah.
that don't matter.
Why? I mean, it doesn't. It really doesn't, especially with like mental draw right there. Like, it's not like you're looking at his hand. You can see it already.
Yeah, he definitely. I would have done like, his terms of other things he could have done. I would have loved a neck beam there, since
Yeah.
Steve doesn't have a way to block it. So, regardless of where Steve ends up level wise at the end of this turn, he could at least knock him down one.
Did Steve pass or is it?
I think it's on Nick to make a decision. Maybe he's hoping that Steve will round throw ball one away to give him better capture options.
But didn't.
Or right throw. I don't know why I keep calling it the blue card.
Assuming
that's
he's
either a
right
right
throwing
throw
now.
or a power.
Did he just mastery?
It looks
neck
like it.
beam?
Oh no, never mind. That's a pass.
What?
They both passed,
Okay.
and now it's Steve's turn.
He drew Namekian disturbance. Is that
All
what that one
4
card?
is missing, so yeah. So that's not going to do anything unless he reaches level 4.
Mm.
If he gets to level 4, he'll probably anger out before he balls out. But I mean, it sure wouldn't hurt to have that in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Can't imagine Steve's going to declare here. Just thinking about what to keep.
All right.
Keeping weighted clothing, rejuvenating confront.
And both, because Kami's.
I don't love that, but it's certainly not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
He's going like, and again, since he committed to the ball victory by not round throwing,
Mhm.
like now he's got the, like even if Nick enters, he set himself up for the action you described.
Mm-hmm.
Of if he happens to draw the last ball in a combat that Nick declares, he can,
Playing a visage.
weighted clothing will give him the chance to just play it and win before Nick even has the ability to do anything. So I mean, that if Nick attacks, that very well could happen. And yeah, here we go. So let's see what we get. So
Oh.
Nick will attack. Oh right, that card gain stages. Sure, he's giving them to Krillin. He's chilling out off camera somewhere.
And Corrin.
And then
Corrin's
so
still there.
if that last ball is in the top 3 cards of Steve's deck, the game is over. Otherwise, I guess we'll see what goes from there. And there it is. All right, well. What a weird game. Well, that sure was something.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, that just kind of got away from him.
Sure, yeah, a lot of
Like midway through the game, it just kind
I
of.
feel like the one or two pretty questionable actions
Krillin
cost
not choking.
Yeah, cost Nick that game. That's rough, but like DBZ's rough. Like if you make even one big mistake, it can cost you a game. But yeah, a couple in the same game for sure is like it's hard to stay on point for like an entire tournament. Everybody's gonna make at least one or two.
Yeah, because this is at least like 6 hours in.
Yeah,
at this
is
point.
the last round of Swiss. Like everybody's been
right.
playing for a while.
We just
why I
got
don't
back
quite
from
get-
food,
sure.
I think.
I don't quite get why people flip out so hard in the chat when people do fuck up, because it's like we're all people, we're all humans. It's gonna happen. Everybody makes, even the best players in the world make mistakes sometimes at very critical moments, and that can cost you games. And it wasn't the only thing that happened there, but I think it was definitely a contributing factor to how that game ended. All right, well, that's going to do it for round 5. So,
In Swiss.
Yeah, and
Woohoo.
Swiss. So
We'll be
stay tuned for
back with
top
Top Cut.
games as we post them up.
Woo!